Hey everyone, so welcome back to another one of my videos. I decided to show you this sped up version of this cool cat I'm going to draw. So I did a couple different versions of this previously, and you know, I was just kind of trying to experiment with different brushes, different techniques, even a different style. Usually I kind of gear towards a little more realistic than this overall flat design, as you will see. But I was looking around on Instagram the other day and I was really inspired by some people that I saw their artwork, and I thought, hey, might as well try something new. So in this video I am showing you a lot of brushes, which is kind of insane because you don't really need that many brushes if you are looking to go for something like this. I am using the Procreate brushes that come with the app when you download it. I am also using a free pack of brushes I got from Woolly Pronto on YouTube. I will link to her channel because she is amazing. I also bought some brushes off of Creative Market from, what was her name? Oh goodness. But the brush pack is called Everything But Watercolors, and I find it's absolutely fantastic, and she recently updated it, the creator of it, so there's even more brushes that you get. And if you already bought it, you can simply just update that brush set and you get, like, I don't know, it was like 20 more brushes or something insane like that. But starting out, what I tend to do, and I see a couple other people do it as well, is I lay out my shapes for the different textures, colors, whatever it might be, because later on, as you will see, we are going to use those individual shapes and layers to isolate and create texture and more definition out of them. So it's super important that you isolate them. I'm not the cleanest person when it comes to this stuff, I'll be honest. Like, eventually it all becomes one layer and I just kind of combine them over and over and over until I get what I want. But at first, as you can see, I am going in and just trying to lay out everything. So here's one of the parts that I sped up as well, because I did change a lot here. I did go back in, and that's what art's about, is just like, you know, trying new things. If you don't like something, you can erase it. But in the future, if I do a tutorial, I'm not going to do one based out of a whole composition like this one. And I think I'm going to definitely slow it down, try to keep the brush set at a minimum. But overall, very fun to try to mix and match brushes and whatnot. So, and you can see that my color palettes are all over the place as well. I tend to work in a complete mess. I don't know if it's like the creative in me that just like likes everything kind of like all over the place and not really having any kind of order to it. So I don't know, I'm just talking, but I feel like it worked for me, and if I do a more formal tutorial in the future, I will definitely make sure that everything is kind of cleanly laid out instead of just all over the place. So, and like I said here, you can see that I'm going back in, relaying those shapes out, not really being any kind of exact, but as you can see, I have an underdrawing, which is like a top layer that I'm using of a sketch that I did of what I want my composition to be. So I am not the type of person, and I know a lot of other people aren't the type of person to just go in and start drawing blindly. And if you do, you have amazing talent. I personally don't. I like to have something there, or create some shapes if I don't create an under sketch. Technically it's an over sketch because your top layer is that pencil layer. So, you know, just a little hint. But as you can see, I'm grabbing from different color palettes. Nothing is really exact. So, yeah, and I thought in this tutorial I would overlay the brushes that I'm using so you guys can kind of see what is what I'm using for brushes instead of just writing it out on the screen. That was a total pain. This might be a little bit better, but I'm using iMovie right now to edit my videos because I don't have a lot of skills when it comes to video editing. I'm a UX designer by trade, so video is one of those things I am trying to learn though, because you always got to level up that skill set, and it could potentially help me out in my career too. So like Procreate, I really want to learn how to digitally draw on my iPad, and that has helped me out in my job, and I'm thinking that video editing might help me out in my job as well. So I don't know, that is just the productivity guru in me. Maybe not even productivity, maybe that's more like a I don't know, I don't even know what you call it, but hey, we're just doing a talk over video to all this drawing that I'm doing. It's because I thought you guys might want to hear a little commentary over music. If you don't like that, let me know. Totally fine. I am open to critiques. So if you hear a little bell in the background, that is my cat that is actually inspired this drawing here. I recently adopted her during this whole quarantine we're having because the coronavirus. So yeah, so I guess I have adopted a quarantine cat, and I also have more time for drawing and learning. So there's some good that can come out of some bad, silver lining, I guess you could say. So as you can see, I am layering tons and tons and tons of different brushes and colors and going in, and I'm switching between my brushes and my blender. So as you can see in the video, I tend to stick to 1 or 2 blenders, and my brushes for coloring in my pictures tend to be a lot more, depending on the texture I'm trying to get. But for watercolor blenders, they're all very similar. They might have some more like blottiness to them, and some more than others, but usually I stick to the same blenders. And to outline my pictures, or not pictures, my shapes, I guess, I use pretty much the same set of what you call like an edger, but I use that in a way that I isolate the layer. Like I use like an alpha lock, so it's not going to interfere with any other layers, which you could probably see on when I open up my layers, that there is like a transparent background, that little checker box, and that means it's on alpha lock. So that's one of the new things I actually learned from Willy Pronto that has helped me out a lot with making all these really cool textures and whatnot. Her videos are amazing, and I've learned so much starting off with Procreate from her. So definitely check that out. There's other great tutorials, but like I said, you can probably find a whole bunch of free brush sets. I personally did on Instagram and YouTube, and people who create YouTube videos. So you don't need to buy all these brushes. I think the set that I got from Creative Market was around 30 bucks for the download. And Creative Market usually has a bunch of sales, so be sure to look out for that before you go buying brush sets that are $30 to $60, depending on what you're looking for. There's tons of watercolor sets on there. There's tons of oil paint ones. There's sketching, other textures as well. So that is something on my list to definitely learn in the future. So I hope you guys don't mind me rambling on about all these different things that probably don't relate to this drawing at all. But yeah, hopefully that's okay. But all this drawing is about is going in and developing up your picture. It's not about it being perfect on the first shot. It's not a traditional like graphic design poster with like big shapes. It's more about texture in this one. So overall, like, you don't have to love your pictures either that you draw. I'm talking like this picture is like some kind of awesome picture that I'm going to sell on Etsy or Redbubble or Society6. It's not one of my favorite pictures ever, but I wanted to show you guys that you can be flexible, you can learn new things, you can try new things, and if you don't like it, it is part of the learning process. So I do, speaking of Redbubble and Society6, I do sell my art on Redbubble, Society6, and Etsy. Etsy I use for my clip art, and Redbubble and Society6 I use for my full drawings that are print on demand. So if you are a creative and want to earn some money from your artwork, let me know. I can show you a tutorial on how I personally do that. But so far I have made 65 sales on Redbubble, and on Etsy I have made, I checked the other day, it was 66 sales on one of my shops, and I also have a second shop that I sell digital download prints, and I recently hooked that up to a print-on-demand provider, fulfillment center, whatever you want to call it. So that has brought in some money as well. The great thing about print-on-demand or digital downloads is that it's pretty much automatic. So the money comes in and you don't have to manage a ton of stuff. So that is something that I am using to supplement my income. No, I'm not earning thousands of dollars, but maybe if I keep up and try to produce some great work, then that could be something that might help me earn some more money. So definitely looking into that. But if you guys want more information, please let me know in the comments below, or like this video. You can even thumbs down the video. You know, if you don't like it, I understand this tutorial isn't for everyone, but open for critique, that's for sure. So how do you feel about these sped up videos, or how would you like something that's more slow down, that you can see like step by step what I'm doing? So if you couldn't tell from the lighting switch, this took me about a full day of drawing, of course with breaks in between, but I am still learning the best lighting setup. Of course, I love it when it's sunny out. My window faces west and is facing a hill, so I don't get very much sunlight, good sunlight. Otherwise it's like blinding and in your face when I do have it, and it doesn't last for very long. So I think in the future, when that new apartment or house comes up, I will be looking for windows that don't have such limited light, because my apartment does get very dark very fast. But you know, that's the way things go sometimes in life. I'm very lucky to be able to have my own apartment, to be able to have my cat, to be able to draw on this iPad. So all things considered, I feel like I am very, very lucky. But as you can see here, I like to go back into my drawings and clean up some edges, and also outline them and give them some more definition. You don't have to do this if you like your drawings a little more flat, but I just like to layer and layer and layer and layer what I am doing. What I am thinking of doing also in upcoming videos is giving you the base layer or base layers for the drawings I'm doing, so you can kind of go in and fill in those drawings with what you learn from me. That is also another idea, so let me know if that is something that you guys would also like, would be kind of follow along the tutorials, and I'll leave the files in like a Dropbox or something. So this video is super long, I know. It took a monstrous amount of time to edit it. But definitely it's something that I'm going to try to cut down in the future and make shorter videos with simpler stuff. But for a full drawing, this is the shortest that I can get it without compromising too much. As you can see, the drawing kind of changes from time to time because I am editing out things that I personally don't like about the drawing and just not showing you guys that part. Or my camera died and I did not realize that while I was filming. It switches off pretty fast, so hopefully that's okay. But we are almost nearing the end of this video, and just going back in and crisping up those shapes and lines and drawings, while also creating some cool details. I like to add a lot of lines into sketches, not actual drawings I have. So maybe that's an art school thing where you could quickly create some shadows with lines and shading. So I actually did go to a high school that was had a really good art program, and I finished up my minor in undergrad in high school. So but I didn't pursue the art pathway after that. I went into finance and then went back to school to be a UX designer, and that all worked out. So my job is wicked creative now. If you would like to know more about UX or how to get in that industry, let me know, because that is something that I have done videos on before, and it is a great career to have. So as you can see, nothing is permanent in this video. The backgrounds change, and the background that I'm using, it's actually a paper texture that I created. I should probably do a video on that. You can draw directly on the Procreate background colors that they give you, or just a plain background with no texture, but I like to create texture so then it actually looks like paper when it goes to be printed or used in any kind of way. So there are paper textures you can download for free, but you can also buy sets that have paper texture brushes and create backgrounds to kind of make what you need for whatever kind of digital drawing that you are doing. The ones that I have, I personally paid for, but I know in Wooly Pronto's video, she does have a free paper texture that you can download and paste onto your background. So, like I said, you don't have to buy everything. That's just an option if you want to. There are tons of free resources out there for when you get started, and that's what I use primarily in the beginning. So as you can see in this video, there's lots of outlining because I was going for this outlined kind of shape. But this is pretty much the gist of the video. I hope you enjoyed, and please subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.